Hi, this is Jolly Rancher and Kneecaps. Today we're going to go over the gear that I was using on my Appalachian Trail through hike during the summer 2009. Okay, welcome back to the final segment about the Appalachian Trail gear. This segment is going to be about what the dog should be wearing and carrying. Alright, so what we have here is Kneecaps wearing his harness. This is part of the Roughwear Palisades pack. Basically, the nice thing about this pack is that the backpack and the harness are detachable. So when you want to put the bag on, you simply put it on and clip it in, like so. This has a 3-point attachment system. So that's how you put it on and he's ready to go. When you want to take a break, you can take your pack off and the dog can take his pack off. The nice thing about that is you can easily attach and detach it. With other dog packs, you have to completely take the entire harness off each and every time you want to take the backpack off, which gets a bit troublesome. The nice thing about this harness is it's got 2 attachment points here, so they hug the dog underneath. When you want to take it off, you simply bring it up and over the dog's head and off, and it's on and off just like that. Okay? So Harley went through 2 different packs on the trail. This was his first one. You can see on the underside that he bashed completely through it. There's a bunch of holes. This is his second one. This one's looking in a little better condition, but overall not that much. Roughwear is a really good make for dog packs. I would highly recommend the Palisades pack. There is a newer design now that they have. It's a little more streamlined, so maybe it won't get bashed up as much. But if you have a dog like mine, I think it will get bashed up a lot. Basically, when you first put the dog pack on them, they don't know how wide they are, so they are more likely to knock into stuff and get stuck in between rocks and everything. But it allows them to carry their own weight and allows you to have a more enjoyable hike. These backpacks also come with their own water bladders. These particular ones are not made very well. They're pretty cheap, and I ended up not using them at all because there's so much water on the Appalachian Trail that you really don't need to worry about carrying water for your dog, because he will drink at every stream crossing, river, whatever water source it is, they're going to drink. So you don't really need to worry about carrying water for them. Other equipment that you may need for your dog are booties. These are REI booties. It comes in a 4-pack, obviously. With these, it's simply just a Velcro system, and you put the dog's paw in there and make sure it's Velcroed down tight. I trained Harley to use these before we left for our hike, but we ended up not having to use them at all. His pads maintained their... They were fine the entire way. I didn't have to worry about his pads at all. And he doesn't really like wearing these. He will wear them if he has to, but I don't think I'll torture him with these today. But it's a good idea to have these with you just in case your dog's paws do get cut up and he needs help somewhere along the trail. Okay? The other thing I have here is Harley's bed, which he didn't use very often, but it was a good thing for him to have. It's basically a fleece blanket that has been sewed to a Tyvek sheet on the other side. It weighs, I believe, 7 ounces, and it is a pretty good size for him. Go on, sit on it. What we found was that he didn't like this as much as he liked my sleeping bag and my sleeping pad. So whenever I got set and ready for bed, he would climb into my bed first, and then eventually I'd have to push him over onto this. But it was good to have, just because if I did pull up to a shelter, I could put this out and that was his spot, and I would make sure that he wasn't walking on other people's gear, and it kept him in line and let him know that he did have a spot where he could sit down. Okay, the other thing you need to take into account when you're hiking with your dog is their food intake. Harley carried a performance dog food. He ate about 1 pound of food a day. The advantage of carrying a performance dog food is it has a higher calorie per pound than a standard dog food does. What that means is that they can meet their caloric needs for the day by carrying a smaller amount of food, that's what you really need to take into account when you have a finite space that you're packing into, because he had to fit all of his gear into this bag, food, towel, bed, booties, everything into here. So if you need to carry 6 to 8 days worth of food, you need to be able to make sure that they can fit all of that in there. The other piece of equipment that I had for Harley was a pack towel. I made sure to get the biggest towel you could get, because when it was wet out, it takes a while to dry them off, especially if you're going to be in shelters with other people. You really need to make sure you can dry your dog off and make sure that other people are comfortable with your dog. So that's pretty much it for dogs. Just make sure that they like being there and you're not putting them through it just because you want to have them there. Harley really enjoyed being on the trail, and he's a great trail dog. But I've seen many dogs on the trail that don't belong out there. So that's always a difficult decision as an owner to not have your dog with you. With Harley, he actually had to leave the trail about 3/4 of the way through. He only did about 1,500 miles of the trail because the new pack that he was carrying was rubbing on his elbows. It was creating these sores that would not have been able to heal while he was on the trail. So that was a difficult decision, but you have to take the dog's needs into consideration when hiking long distance. So in the end, I know it was the right decision to take him off the trail, but it was still difficult. So that is everything. I hope you enjoyed watching all 4 segments of my Appalachian Trail gear. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. You can also check out my blog at harveyat.blogspot.com. It's still updated with gear, tips, and everything every so often. And in closing, I hope you have fun on the Appalachian Trail. Hike your own hike and make sure you enjoy the experience. Thanks very much. See you on the trail.